Cadet Alex Morgan kept her eyes forward as she marched through the crowded hallway of the Galactic Alliance Academy. The metallic walls, designed to withstand space radiation and micrometeoroid impacts, amplified every snicker and whisper that followed in her wake. "Look at those fragile limbs," a voice hissed from behind. "One good hit and they'd snap." Alex recognized the deep, rumbling tone of Trogar, a Vesperian whose exoskeleton could withstand direct energy weapon hits. His species had evolved on a high-gravity planet with constant electrical storms, conditions that had shaped them into natural warriors. Another voice, high and whistling, joined in. "I heard humans need to sleep for 8 hours every cycle. Pathetic." This came from Leary, an avian humanoid whose species required only 2 hours of meditation daily. Alex quickened her pace slightly, not enough to show she was affected, but enough to reach Combat Training Hall 5 before the taunts could escalate. As the only human in the advanced tactical training program, she'd grown accustomed to being underestimated. The Alliance had only recently allowed humans to join their ranks after Earth proved its worth during the Nexus conflict, a war that had been won largely through human ingenuity rather than brute strength. The combat hall doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Inside, 24 cadets from 12 different species stood at attention. Instructor Vex, a towering draconian with scales that shifted between deep blue and purple depending on the light, paced before them. "Today's assessment will determine your placement in the upcoming Crucible exercise," Vex announced, her forked tongue flicking between words. "The Crucible is not a game. It separates those who belong in Alliance Command from those who belong in support roles." Alex felt several eyes turn toward her. The implication was clear. Humans belonged in support roles. "The assessment has 3 phases," Vex continued. "Virtual combat, tactical problem solving, and the physical gauntlet. Your combined scores will determine your ranking." The virtual combat chamber was a white room lined with neural interface nodes. When activated, it created a perfect simulation of battlefield conditions, complete with sensory feedback that made every hit feel real, though without causing actual injury. Alex was paired against Trogar for the first round. The Vesperians, mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his kind. "Try not to cry when you lose, soft skin," he chittered. The simulation began. They stood in a ravaged urban landscape, the remains of some alien metropolis. Crumbling towers loomed overhead, and the ground was uneven with debris. Trogar immediately charged, using his natural armor as both shield and weapon. But Alex had studied Vesperian combat tactics. While they were nearly invulnerable from the front, their joint articulations at the rear of their thorax were vulnerable. She dodged his first rush, not by retreating, but by sliding under a collapsed wall section. Trogar spun around, surprised by her speed, but Alex was already moving. She scrambled up a fallen beam, using the height advantage to leap onto his back. Her training knife, which registered as a critical hit in the simulation, found the gap in his armor. The simulation froze. "Victory, Cadet Morgan," the AI announced. Trogar's compound eyes widened in shock as the white room reappeared around them. In the tactical problem-solving phase, cadets were presented with a seemingly unwinnable scenario, a colony under siege, outnumbered 10-1 with critical systems failing and limited resources. While her peers focused on conventional military solutions, staging last stands or attempting breakout maneuvers, Alex approached it differently. She reprogrammed the colony's atmospheric processors to synthesize a gas harmless to the colonists, but that would corrode the enemy's weapon systems. She then used the colony's entertainment broadcast system to spread disinformation about a non-existent superweapon. "Unconventional," Instructor Vex noted, her scales shifting to an impressed azure, "but effective. Highest score in this cohort." The physical gauntlet was where most expected Alex to fail. The course was designed to test strength, endurance, and pain tolerance, all areas where humans were considered inferior to the warrior species of the galaxy. The obstacle course began with gravity plates set to 3 times standard, easy for species like Trogar, but grueling for a human. Alex's muscles screamed as she forced herself forward, each step requiring immense effort. While others bounded ahead, she maintained a steady pace. The second section featured automated combat drones, equipped with pain sticks, devices that triggered nerve endings without causing damage. Here, Alex's smaller size became an advantage as she navigated through narrower spaces the larger species couldn't access. By the final segment, a climbing wall with random electrical discharges, Alex had closed the gap. What surprised everyone wasn't just that she completed the course, but how she adapted to each challenge with creative solutions rather than brute force. When the scores were tallied, a stunned silence fell over the hall. Cadet Alex Morgan, first place overall. Impossible, Leary chirped, her feathers bristling. Instructor Vex silenced the protests with a raised claw. The results stand. Combat excellence isn't measured by physical attributes alone. Adaptability, tactical thinking, and the ability to overcome biological limitations are equally important. Cadet Morgan demonstrated all three. Later in the Academy mess hall, Alex sat alone until a tray clattered down opposite her. It was Trogar, his exoskeleton still bearing scuff marks from the gauntlet. The simulation, he began awkwardly. Mandibles, twitching. How did you know about the vulnerability in our thoracic joints? That information isn't in any Alliance database. Alex took a sip of her nutrient solution before answering. I spent my free hours studying xenobiology texts and combat footage. While everyone else was resting or socializing, I was learning. Trogar's compound eyes reflected the overhead lights as he processed this. You used your weakness as motivation. It's what humans do, Alex replied. We compensate, we adapt, we observe and learn. We've had to. We don't have natural armor or enhanced strength or specialized organs. What we have is persistence and creativity. The next day, when the Crucible exercise teams were announced, Alex was named squad leader with Trogar as her second in command. As she stepped forward to receive her designation, the whispers in the hallway had changed. Did you see her combat scores? I heard she studies alien biology in her free time. Maybe humans have something to offer after all. Alex allowed herself a small smile. She hadn't joined the academy to prove humans were better, only that they belonged. As the first of her species to lead a Crucible team, she had opened a door. Others would follow.